Welcome back, friends. In the previous session, we have discussed the male reproductive system in human reproduction. You know the different parts of a male reproductive system which are present in a male, and as a reproductive organs which are present in a female, they are different from the organs which are present into a male reproductive system, because the human being is a unisexual animal and they show a sexual dimorphism. In this today's session, we have to learn different parts of a female reproductive system. Here we will discuss the different parts of a female reproductive system. So let's start with the different parts of a female reproductive system. Which are the different parts of a female reproductive system? See, there are different parts of a female reproductive system. And which are the different parts of a female reproductive system? The first part is ovaries. The second component that is present, it is called as fallopian tube, or it is also called as uterine tube, or you can also call it as oviduct. Okay. Next, the third part in a female reproductive system is a uterus. Fourth is called as vagina. Next, cervix. Next, external genitalia. Okay. Along with the external genitalia, we will also include mammary gland. Okay. Mammary gland is present in both male and female, but it is well developed and functional in female, so we will see mammary gland considered as a part of a female reproductive system because it is meant for nourishment to offspring. So in short, the female reproductive system mainly consists of these parts: ovaries, fallopian tube, uterus, vagina, cervix, external genitalia and mammary gland. We have to discuss each part of a female reproductive system in detail. Okay, and it is important from examination point of view. Okay, so let's start with the first part. This is called as ovaries. How many ovaries are present? So can anyone say how many ovaries are present? There are presence of 2 ovaries. Okay, these are the ovaries. These ovaries, they are oval in shape. What is the shape? They are oval in shape. Okay, these ovaries, they are oval in shape. Where they are present? They are present in lower part of abdominal cavity. Lower part of abdominal cavity. Okay, this is considered as primary sex organ. Okay, so this is about the ovaries. Ovaries, they are oval in shape. Where they are present? They are present into a lower part of abdominal cavity. They are present inside abdominal cavity, and this is considered as primary sex organ in a female. So if you have been asked which is the primary sex organ in female, then it is ovaries, and which is a primary sex organ in a male, then it is a testes. Okay, the other parts are the accessory parts. Okay, these ovaries, it remains attached with a wall of uterus as well as the wall of pelvic cavity. Okay, that is attached with a wall in short. So that's why they remains at their position. They remains at their position. Okay, these ovaries, they are surrounded by a covering. Okay, a thin layer, it surrounds the ovary. A very thin layer that is surrounding to an ovary. Okay, like a testes are also surrounded by a layer. Similarly, the ovaries are also surrounded by a thin fibrous connective tissue layer. Okay, the inner portion of this ovary, that is called as ovarian stroma. What it is called as? Ovarian stroma. Inner portion. And this stroma is divided into 2 parts. The outer part is called as cortex. The inner part is called as medulla. Okay, the outer part is called as cortex, the inner part is called as a medulla. Okay, so that is about the part of an ovary. Okay, so inside a covering, what is present? A stroma, and stroma is divided into two regions. The outer region cortex, the inner region is called as medulla. Now what is the function of these ovaries? There are two functions of these ovaries. What are the functions of ovary? The first main important function, it produces a female gamete, what we call it as ovum, or you can also call it as egg cell. So who produces this ovum or egg cell? That is produced by ovaries. This is the first function. The another function or the second function of this ovaries, it secretes a female sexual hormones like estrogen. Okay, so that is secreted by, or it secretes some steroidal hormones in female, and that is secreted by ovaries. So there are two functions in short. First, a production of ovum, okay, and the second one is secretion of steroidal hormone like estrogen in a female. Okay, so that's all about the ovaries. Okay, again repeat, how many ovaries are present? Two ovaries are present. Okay, where they are present? They are present into a lower part of abdominal cavity. Okay, they are present inside abdominal cavity, but at the lower part that attached to a walls of a wall. Okay, so they remains at their positions. It is considered as primary sex organ, which have two functions. First function is the production of ovum, and the second function is the production of steroidal hormone like estrogen. Okay, because it is responsible for female secondary sexual behavior and characteristics. The ovaries are covered by covering. Okay, and inside that what is present? Stroma. The stroma is divided into two regions. The outer region is called as cortex. The inner region is called as medulla. Okay, and the ovum is produced by this ovary. Okay, now we will see a next part. What we call it as fallopian tube. I just rub it out. Then we will write. So the next part is a fallopian tube. You can also call it as oviduct, or you can also call it as uterine tube. These are the synonyms. Okay, what is a fallopian tube? So what is a fallopian tube? Fallopian tube, it's simple tube-like structure. It is a simple tube-like structure which arises from both the sides. This is a simple tube-like structure which is of about 10 to 20 centimeter long. This 10 to 12 centimeter long tube-like structure. This tube-like structure that is called as fallopian tube. Clear? Okay. This tube that is attached to a, there is a slight gap, but that is attached. Okay. So that is attached. A very minute gap is present, not exactly attached, but very minute gap is present in between these ovaries and the funnel. Okay, or fallopian tube. Okay. Now, what are the different parts of this fallopian tube? This fallopian tube, if you see the first part of this fallopian tube, okay, it is a funnel shaped structure. This is a funnel shaped structure. Okay, in the terminal end of this funnel shaped structure, you can see a finger like projections. This finger like projections, it's considered as fimbri. What is called as fimbri? Okay, this portion is a funnel shaped structure. Okay, then there is a portion, this portion is called as ampulla. And next, the another portion that after one, this is called as isthmus. What it is called as isthmus. So these are the different parts of a funnel. This is a simple tube-like structure. And how many fallopian tubes are present? These two fallopian tubes are present. And what is its mean? They are responsible for, or what is their function? Their function is transport of ovum. Transport of ovum. So the ovum is released from ovary. Okay, that ovum is captured by this finger-like projection called as fimbriae, and that ovum is transported. That ovum is transported. Okay, every month or every 28 days, one ovum gets released from either side. Means on one month on this side, on another month on another side. Then alternatively, the ovum gets released, and the ovum which is released, that is captured by this funnel-shaped structure or the finger-like projections called as a fimbriae, and then it is transported. So which are the components of a fallopian tube? The fallopian tube consists of fimbriae, ampulla, and the isthmus. Okay, so it's just a simple tube-like structure. Okay, you can also consider as female accessory duct. Okay, now next part, we have discussed two, ovaries and fallopian tube. Now we discuss the another part in a female reproductive system, and that is uterus. Okay, so how this uterus okay, this one is considered as, it's considered as uterus. What you can call it as? It's called as a uterus. Okay, here this uterus, it is consist of 3 layers. How many layers are present in uterus? The uterus is made up of 3 layers. The outermost layer is called as perimetrium. The middle one, it's called as myometrium. The innermost one, it's called as endometrium. So the uterus, it consists of how many layers? There are 3 layers which are present in uterus: perimetrium, myometrium, and endometrium. This perimetrium, that is the outermost layer of uterus. The myometrium, it is a middle layer of a uterus. And the endometrium, that is the innermost layer of a uterus. So these are the 3 layers which compose uterus. A uterus can also be called as, what's another name of uterus? The uterus can also be called as womb. Okay, where a development of embryo or baby takes place. The development of embryo or baby that takes place over here. Okay, so this is called as a uterus, consists of 3 layers. The outer layer, it is a perimetrium. Okay, it is made up of epithelial cells. Myometrium, okay, that is the middle, it is consist of thick layer of smooth muscle. It consists of thick layer of smooth muscles. Okay, these smooth muscles are elastic in nature, so it can extend. Okay, and these muscles, they help in a contraction during delivery of a baby. Okay, this muscle gets contracted, and so that's why it make a push on the baby, and the baby gets delivered out. Okay, during pregnancy, this muscle becomes relaxed. Okay, so the baby can draw. After the end of 9 months, this muscle becomes contracted, and so that's why a delivery of a baby takes place. See here, it's a smooth muscle. That means it does not work voluntarily. Means it does not work according to our own wish. Okay, so it doesn't work according to our wish as these muscles work. Okay, the innermost layer of this uterus, it's called as an endometrium, and this endometrium, it's made up of glandular epithelial cells. It is made up of a glandular epithelial cell, the innermost layer, what is called as endometrium. This cell, glandular epithelium cell, they shed off or they break off. Okay, it shed off or break off. Okay, every 28 days. Okay, along with menstrual fluid. So along with the blood, the lining of this glandular epithelium also gets a shed off, which again regenerate. Okay, and then again it shed off. Okay, this continue until a lady becomes a pregnant. Once it conceives or once a lady becomes a pregnant, a shedding of this is stopped during a pregnancy time. Okay, and after the pregnancy is over, after certain time period, again the same process of menstruation starts until the lady is in a reproductive phase. So ultimately the uterus can also be considered as a womb, and there are three layers in uterus: perimetrium, myometrium, endometrium. It is outermost layer that is made up of epithelial cells. Myometrium, it's a middle layer, it's made up of a thick layer of a smooth muscles, and they helps in a delivery of a baby. They are involuntary in nature. The endometrium, that is the innermost layer, and that is made up of glandular epithelial cells, which shed off or break off every 28 days. So along with menstrual fluid, these cells are also discharged. Okay, so that's all about the uterus, where the development of a baby takes place. Okay, so we have finished three parts in a female reproductive system: ovaries, fallopian tube, and the third one is a uterus. Let's move ahead with the fourth part. It is called as cervix. Okay, so this is a part, you can call it as cervix in simple, and this is called as cervical canal. Okay, this is a cervix, and this canal is called as cervical canal. Okay, in another term, this cervix can also be called as a mouth or opening of uterus. Clear? Okay, mouth or opening of a uterus. Okay, this is called as a cervix. Okay, and this cervix, it opens into a tube-like structure. This is called as a vagina. Okay, so vagina is a part from which the menstrual fluid flows out. This is called as a vagina. So that's about parts of female reproductive system. How many parts we have discussed? First is ovaries. Second, this is ovaries, 2 in number. Fallopian tube, uterus, cervix, cervical canal, and next is vagina. Okay. Next, in a female reproductive system, it also includes external genitalia. In a male, the external genitalia is penis. So, which are the external genitalia in female? So, which are the external genitalia in female? So, remember the name: mons, pubis. Next, labia majora. Next, labia minora. Hymen. Clitoris. Okay, so these are the parts of external genitalia in female. So which are the forms of external genitalia in female? Mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen, and clitoris. Okay, so let's discuss each one. Starting with first, mons pubis. What is a mons pubis? Mons pubis is a fatty cushion like structure. Okay, it is mons pubis is fatty cushion like structure, and that is covered with skin and pubic hair. It's covered with the skin and pubic hair. Okay, that is a mons pubis. Okay, fatty cushion like structure that is covered with the skin and pubic hair. Next is labia majora. Labia majora, it is a fleshy fold of skin. It's a fleshy folds of skin that is called as a labia majora. This labia majora that is present under the mons pubis. Okay, that's present under the mons pubis. This is called as labia majora. They are the fleshy folds like a lips. Okay, of skin. Next, similarly, the labia minora. This is the major one, the larger one, and this is the smaller one. That's why what we call it as minora. Okay, so that is present under the labia majora, and that is again a fleshy folds. Okay, so mons pubis is a fatty cushion-like structures, and that is covered with skin and pubic hair. Labia majora, they are fleshy folds of a skin that is present under the mons pubis, and under the majora there is a presence of another fleshy folds, that what we call it as labia minora. Okay, next, one more structure that constitute a female reproductive tract, and that is called as a hymen. Okay, what is a hymen? Hymen is a membrane which partially closes this vagina, like this. Partially closes this vagina. Okay, so it is a membrane which partially closes this vagina, and that is called as hymen. Okay, hymen, this is a membrane that can be torn off, or it may break off during a vigorous and strenuous exercises like horse riding, bicycling, or involvement into a certain hardcore sports that may lead to a breakage of this hymen. Okay, remember, one question is going to be asked. The hymen is not considered as a tool for checking a virginity of a female, because it may also going to be torn off during heavy exercises or involvement into an active sports. Okay, that may lead to a breakup of it. Usually this hymen, a membrane, okay, which partially blocks the vagina or partially surrounds the vagina, that may break off during a sexual intercourse or coitus, but that is not considered as an indicator of a virginity, indicator of sexual behavior. Okay, next is called as a clitoris. Okay, clitoris is considered as an equivalent organ of a penis in a female. As the penis do a erection, it becomes a hard. Similarly, clitoris also gets excited and becomes aroused in a female. Okay, so it is, what is a clitoris? The clitoris is a tiny finger-like structure that is present above the urethral opening. Okay, that's present above the urethral opening. This is called as a clitoris. And remember, a question might going to be asked. The equivalent organ of penis in a female is a clitoris. Okay, it can also get excited. Okay, so these all are the external genitalia: mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen, clitoris. Mons pubis, it's a fatty cushion-like structure. Okay, that is composed of skin or covered by skin and pubic hair. Labia majora and minora, they are the fleshy folds of a skin. The majora is the larger one, the minora is a smaller one. Okay, they are present under the mons pubis. Hymen, it's a membrane that covers the vagina. It may break off during a sexual intercourse. Even it may also get torn off during a involvement into a active sports and heavy exercises. Okay, so it should not be considered as an indicator of virginity in a female. A clitoris, an equivalent organ of a penis in a female, it's a clitoris that's present above the urethral opening. Okay, these all are the external genitalia in a female. Okay, any doubt? So that's all about it. We also consider the mammary gland as a part of female reproductive system, but we will discuss this mammary gland at the end of a chapter when we are discussing lactation. Okay, when a baby delivers, it needs a nourishment or nutrition in the form of mother's milk through a mammary gland, or what we commonly call it as breast. Okay, so at that time we will learn the structure, what is the structure of mammary gland and how the milk is going to be secreted, and what is the composition of that milk and how it is beneficial to a baby. Okay, that we will see. So mammary gland we will discuss at the end of chapter. So in this female reproductive system, today we have discussed its part like ovaries. These are the ovaries. Fallopian tube, okay, composed of fimbriae, ampulla, isthmus, uterus, cervical canal, cervix, vagina, and external genitalia like this. Okay, so learn this, it's very important. You also have to prepare a diagram of female reproductive system along with a diagram of a male reproductive system. Okay, and they are important parameters for examination point of view. Okay, so till then, keep learning, keep watching, subscribe and like this channel, and thank you for your subscription. Okay, thank you once again.